Alright YouTube, so this is the kit I got off Amazon. It comes with quite a bit for the price. It comes with a generic air filter. Probably will be upgrading to K&N at some point, but you know, it came with the kit and it was a good price. So there's the air filter. It comes with spark plug wires and coil. Comes with 4 Champion spark plugs. There's the part number. Comes with an oil filter. Fuel filter. And then cap and rotor. I also got my tools out for this job. I need a socket wrench. I like these because it's multiple inside. Flathead, Phillips. Not sure if I'm going to need this guy. Take the oil filter off, or this guy. Whichever one holds better on the filter. I like to have a few extensions out. This is a spark plug wrench. And then to get the oil drain plug off, you'll need a 9/16 socket wrench. And then I know there's some hoses that I'll need to take off for the air filter or oil filter, so I got some pliers out. Alright, so let's get started. Alright guys, so we're going to be doing cap, rotor, and plugs and wires now. Come on in here. That is the cap right here. And there's all the wires. Center one's coil wire, of course. I recommend only replacing one wire at a time, only because you don't want to get the fire and order mixed up. I'm sure it wouldn't be hard to figure out what the fire and order is, but you do it one at a time, you don't run into an issue. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the cap and rotor, and then the wires. I'm going to replace the spark plugs first, and one wire at a time. Okay? Before we continue on here, I want to make sure your gap in your spark plugs the correct gap. Jeeps need to be at 0.035. Just want to go through and double check all your spark plugs, make sure that the gap is correct. I've already checked all these. I just wanted to real quick show you what needs to happen with this guy. And of course it comes with 2 little pins there, one to spread it, and then you can just tap it down to close it back up. So we're going to be replacing these 2 guys right now. Now there is 2 marker points. You got a square end and a round end. You want to make sure that they line up. If you get them swapped, the cap won't sit down all the way. So you want to make sure that those are correct and set down all the way. So what we're going to do is, I've already unscrewed the cap off, but what I use to do that is a Phillips head long screwdriver to get in there. It's quite a reach to get down in there. Okay, so I've already unscrewed it. Let me pull it off and I'll show you what we're going to be doing there. Alright, so just pull it, set it aside. You're going to just yank up on the rotor. And this is what we're replacing on the inside. You can see it's kind of burned a little bit. So we'll replace it with this guy. Okay. So with this guy, you just want to line up this pin here. If you can see that, there's a lining pin in there. Line that up. Okay, top of your distributor. Just twist it till those grooves line up. And then you're just going to want to push it all the way down. There we go. Okay. The cap, remember to line those guys up. screwdriver. Just put those screws back in. Would tighten them both up. I'd get one started and then go start the other one and tighten them all the way down there. Okay, that's good. Alright. So, I've already pulled off the plug wire for number 1, and I'm going to replace it with another wire. So we're just going to plug that guy on. The same one that I pulled off. So it's going to be at the same angle. Okay. Alright, so we're just going to feed that through. And then we'll remove the spark plug. So to remove the spark plug, you're going to need a spark plug wrench. You want to make sure that it will fit the one that you have. This happens to be a 5/8. The reason why I say spark plug wrench is because there's a rubber piece in there that actually holds the spark plug from falling out as you try to put it into the engine. So at this point, you're going to need a extension to get in there to get past everything. You might need 2 extensions, but I have an 8-inch extension here, so I'm going to go ahead and use that, and a ratchet wrench, or excuse me, socket wrench. Now they shouldn't be too snug, because with spark plugs you just put them in and then you snug them down one or two, like half a turn more. Alright. So that's what that spark plug looks like. I'm not sure when the guy that had it before me replaced it, but that looks pretty burnt. So should get a little better gas mileage and better performance out of the engine. So I've already pre-gapped these. What I'm going to do is just going to slide inside that guy. I recommend taking your wrench off and just using it by hand. You don't want to force these threads in. If you strip those threads, you're going to be in a world of hurt. You got to rethread your engine. So you just kind of want to let it find the threads, and then it should go in fairly easy. Almost hand tightened all the way down. Okay, so I've found the threads. I'm going to go ahead and put my ratchet wrench on. Okay, so now we're snug. Just going to take it just a little bit more. Okay, done there. And then reroute your wire. And that one is complete. Okay, and we'll continue that on the other 4. So, I don't know if you guys can see the difference. Look at the gap difference. This one's the old one and this one's the new one. Look at that. I mean, it's almost twice the gap. So I'm glad I'm doing this. Okay, so notice that this one has a little bend in it. That bend is for number 3. The reason for that is because it's just so tight with your AC lines and the AC pump. So they bend it to make it easier to route the wire around that and back to the distributor cap. Okay, so you guys can't forget to do the coil. The coil 1 goes to the middle. It goes to actually the coil. This one is very interesting because there's 2 of those ends. Okay, and this is what controls all your spark. So here's the new one. Plug that back into the coil. Here it's snap. Okay, I'll plug it into the top of the distributor. Okay. now I have one last one to do. It's number 4. It's up here. That one's a little more tough to get to. I may need to have a extension with a curved piece on it, and I'll go get that and show you. Okay, so this is what I was talking about, getting in there with that. Just gonna go ahead and just put it there, and that'll allow you to get into the tight space. Because I gotta get past some wiring and into the spark plug area. Okay, so then now I'm in, I'll just take it off.